Hey there folks, the SeKo Starcraft here, speeding up a replay and having a beer between canabuz, it's kind of a cool name, and Colonel QXC. I think this is go for SC2, not sure, but it's a TVP cross spawn, so I'm speeding up a bit because it's TVP cross spawns. And I do like picking up a QXC replay here and there when I can find them, because the guy's got so many builds up his sleeve. He's always super aggressive, makes for fun times. Canavuz, well, it's a Protoss. And Protoss right now are kind of arrogant. They kind of know they're doing good. And is it just me, or does this look like a Pog Slammer? Now, bear with me here. I'm a child. I grew up in the. I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. Anybody else play Pogs? Does this look like a Pog Slammer to anybody else? We have like that really crazy, like flaming skull with a snake through the eyes, and it's like a half-inch thick piece of steel you use to flip over Pogs. If you played Pogs, let me know. And if you felt bad about the fact you played Pogs, like this video, because I was the same way. But it was very lame. I actually had a school that banned Pogs after like a semester when I was in elementary because they thought it was a form of gambling and people were getting their feelings hurt too bad, so they banned Pogs, of all things. Reaper flying off to do some scouting. Whatever. Terran is also scouting in all directions. Protoss scouting in all directions. There's a little bit of meta analysis. Is this double Reaper? I've got 4 Reapers at least. They're going to be hitting the map. And I don't know where they're rallied right now. We'll slow back down here as the Reapers are getting into position, because that way I'm not going to lose my mind. Block it! Oh, almost blocked the expansion. I mean, yeah, you got a probe. But Reapers don't really do enough damage against buildings or something like that. He's got 4... Did he cancel a Reaper? They're actually coming home. Why are these Reapers at home? Expansion going down. More racks. It's actually macroing up really good. 3 racks before command center. This Reaper will get away. So he's got 3 Reapers that are essentially pointless. I'm a little surprised. He could be scouting the map looking for proxies at least with these guys, and I think that's what he's going to do. But that's a pretty big investment. That's about 150 gas. I think they're 50 minerals a pop, are they not? 50-50? 50-50. So that's a good chunk of tech. That's his factory down, essentially, by going this fast into that. Lots and lots of Marines. So we might see him go for a push here on this base, but because it's cross spawn and this next is already finishing up, don't think it's going to work. Nothing crazy came out of a Protoss player. 2 gate opening, chrono boosting his cybernetics core, which is a little strange to me. Did he scout much? I've been drinking a while, so give me a break. He did scout a couple of barracks with add-ons, so we might think that it's going to be the old school mega push. By old school mega push, I mean there used to be this great build you do before you get a command center. You just go 1 racks reactor, 1 racks barracks, get out combat shield or concussive, depending on how you felt on that day. Concussive goes really fast, and you make yourself like 4 marauders, 10 marines, and run across the map and kill people. I won so many TVPs back in the day with using that exact same build, just because it rolled scrubs. Base is going to go down. Let's look at the economy here. That tab works well. So Protoss up a good chunk in workers. It has both of his gas, all of his gas is taken, or about to. Whereas our Terran players only got the 1 gas here, so that means that's a little bit slower on the gas, but it gives him everything he needs when he's very marine heavy at the start. I don't think he's even got a factory started yet, though. It's a bit of a problem. It's going to be a long ass time before he gets out any type of medevacs. I'm hoping he doesn't just throw these Reapers all away. Well, they're all going to die. He did get 2 probe kills, but that's 3 Reapers. It's a little unfortunate for QXC. He did go for a bit of a funky build with the extra Reaper opening, but it didn't really pay off. He's going to move out with this army. Stim is finished. There's no medevacs here, so Stim's got to be used liberally. And at least he forced a photon overcharge on 1 base. That's still enough for the second base, though. Factory is on the way. 3 racks still pumping along. And if you're watching somebody that's probably a little bit more economy aggressive, you watch somebody like Flash maybe, you'd see that they'd probably at this point have a 3rd command center finished. The factory, maybe only 1 racks. And now begin down the additional racks, focusing more on economy, particularly on a large map. Income-wise, still see a little bit of a lead for canabuz. I like that. And I'm kind of expecting him to maybe go for a push here in the next little bit, just to be able to get himself out another Nexus. But it looks like he's just going to roll through this army. Kind of sloppy from QXC. I don't know what he really got accomplished there. Yeah, he's got a stim done, but with his photon overcharge, like, you're not going to beat this. Yeah, he killed a couple sentries off, but that was his army. That's why we see canabuz up in supply, pretty good right now. I feel like the archive's already finished, Storm on the way. Canabuz in a pretty good spot right now, despite his Pog Smasher icon there. Up to 52 probes, still got a good lead. Figured he would have came down here, checked this out, and then looked to go for a 3rd Nexus, knowing his opponent has cross spawns and they didn't have a ton of tech out. As a Protoss player, you can just use that opportunity to just get super aggressive when it comes to economy. Get that sick 3 base, high tech composition going. Not a huge army from the Protoss yet, and it's interesting that he's going Immortal. He's going up against Bio, which obviously you're going to have Marauders in there. But just going for a Zealot charge, Templar, Sentry, and Stalker mix, I think would have been a good use of that. Sometimes it's nice to be able to get out the Storm and then start just faking Colossus, maybe 1 or 2 Colossus. They're so expensive that you can't generally balance that with your High Templars. But if you have High Templars and you've got a Colossus or 2 out, Terrans start making Vikings instead of Medevacs. They start trying to maybe make a Ghost Academy when they don't really have the gas to support everything. He did actually cancel that pylon and get away with a probe. That's funky. So QXC's out with another chunk of army. First 2 Medevacs. Very standard push timing here. He's got himself up to about even supply once again. Does he have a command center going? He does have a command center finished. So that's part of my hesitation with this Protoss build. So he took a pretty good lead with the opening that he had. But the fact that QXC is already up onto a 3rd command center give me a bit of a difference. Terran also has 1-1, whereas the Protoss player has no upgrades. Does have charge on the Zealots, but they're getting kited very well. Storm is awesome, but you've got to land good storms, otherwise it doesn't matter as much. See, the High Templars are stuck in the back here. QXC's pulling pretty far ahead. Yeah, his units are pretty beat up, but as long as he escapes with them, he'll head home and get them repaired up just fine. Protoss in the middle of the map. He's got... I've seen this overconfidence with High Templars a fair bit, where Protoss was like, well, look, I've got High Templars, all I've got to do is land good storms and I win, right? But if you play against somebody who's good enough, and has great positioning... Storms don't always win you matches, and sometimes if you overcommit into thinking storms will win, you lose matches. Lots of bunkers here at the front. Looks as though QXC is worried about this 2-base push out of the Protoss player. He's got a Marine here, and a Marine here, so he knows it's a 2-base play. Unless it's a hidden base, he knows it's a 2-base play. And now having out Widow Mines at the front, there's no other observers with this army. There is a layout though. That does help quite a bit. So without detection, oh, there's an observer. I like these small skirmish groups. There's no force fields coming in to cut off army. So you're not overstimming your army, you're picking off zealots here and there. It's actually very helpful. You get in all the little bits of damage you can. Once again, QXC does have a 3rd command center ready and a whole bunch of army in reserve. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gone for a drop with one of these. There's nothing at home to defend. Storms on the high ground, feedbacks on the medevacs. Storms are not taking out the Marauders though. This might be an ill-fated bust here by canabuz. He does supply block QXC fairly bad. Good storm there. He's getting quite a few units. I think that's all of his storms though. That was his last High Templar. And yes, this is a good army. It does have good upgrades. But against all this DPS from the bio, it's just going to truck through this. Most Protoss players would GG right there. Just saying. If he sees the observer, we'll see if he actually manages to grab it or not. There he goes. Doesn't have much for Marines. Just grabs it in time. So he's up quite a bit in supply. He's got a command center floating over. He's got big production. Had an army. About to be had an economy. Our Protoss player put a lot of stock in those storms. And that's why I was talking about that overcommitment to the Pog Slammer here, thinking that he was going to have the storm solve all his problems. I'm going up against bio. If I land good storms, I win. The problem is, QXC knows how to play really well, and if we saw him doing those really nice little small groups, kiting in, picking off what units he can, a lot of the meat shield of Zealots was all gone by the time it was about to attack. The storms were hitting on small clumps of units, and all the reserves from QXC were just waiting. It's not a bad storm there. A couple of Widow Mines going off. Widow Mine's the new Protoss killer. There's no Observer in this army right now. He's getting another Immortal. We'll see if he gets an Observer out after that. Picks off the Immortal as well. And at this point it's 2-2 versus just one armor. Protoss is starting to fall pretty far behind the upgrades, and this is where we see this pro level kind of macro coming out for our Terran player. 3-3, already halfway done. His opponent's on 1-1. Lots of production. Smiley face from canabuz there. And I'm not too sure exactly what that's about, other than maybe him acknowledging that he's been rock and rolled this game. The smart thing from QXC is he pulls some of his weaker or extra Marines, puts them in all their basic expansion locations, and just, you know, keeps track. Protoss might hide a base, but the problem is that it's not really the same as what you can do with Terran and having an orbital that you can just drop mules at a base. Storm kind of whiffs there, and this is our problem with not having Colossus or having the right upgrades. This 2-2 bio is just cutting through these charge lots that are running ahead of their Storm and Archon counterparts. 70 supply lead. DTs, you know, why not? I don't even think there's a good pylon position anywhere out on the map for the Protoss. The Terran looks like he is running around the map right now to check for a hidden base. Like the Protoss hasn't left yet. Great kiting with the concussive shells here. He's got a couple of High Templars. That storm wasn't too bad. Doesn't grab too much though. There's one storm left. That was it. That was the whole thing. There's no mothership core here either. He can't afford it right now. He's getting cloaked for ghosts, 4 ghosts at a time. Upgraded mech weapons. He doesn't have anything that is mech that shoots, because I'm pretty sure the Widow Mines don't get the upgrade of damage from mech upgrades. They just get shields. I'm sorry, armor. And here's QXC checking the entire map for anything weird. Yeah, that didn't work out super well. 3 High Templars. No, this is such a small army. This isn't all of QXC's army. QXC's maxed right now. There's an army moving across the middle. There is a small DT attack here. But there's just nothing, really. QXC is just playing this out so well. DT's doing his best. GG, well played, good luck. This was a tournament game, so canabuz giving his sign off there. Tried his best at a 2-base Protoss play. Kind of a storm all in, if you can call it that. But it was really, really nice smart play out of QXC. SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk with you later.